Russia confirms using Su-57 fighters in Ukraine war as they destroy targets. Sources close to the operation reportedly said that 4 Su-57 fighter jets, working in a single network, were used to identify and destroy Ukrainian air defense systems. This is the most advanced stealth aircraft ever built, capable of defeating any raider ever invented, and can kill 10 American F-22 Raptor using just one missile, at least if you listen to the Russian defense. But why is the plane that Russia claims is more sophisticated than the American F-22 Raptor and F-35, but is the Su-57 plane in the Ukrainian sky, exactly where the Russian troops need it the most? No deal? Russia has refused to reveal the production secrets of 5th-generation jet fighters for free. India, for its part, has decided that a deal is not appropriate for an aircraft that is not up to being called the fighter plane of the new millennium. India pulled out of a joint program with Russia to develop the advanced multirole 5th-generation fighter aircraft based on the Su-57. India explained its move by saying that the Russian design doesn't meet the stated requirements, while the plane's Russian design, combat avionics, radars, and sensors are not up to 5th-generation standards. At the same time, India says that it is prepared to consider revising its plans in the future and even to purchase serially produced aircraft from Russia if they come out on top in a tender. Initially, in 2007, the sides signed a contract under which the Indian side invested to the tune of $300 million in the development of the design and technical blueprint for the future aircraft. At the same time, the subsequent cost of research, first prototypes, and development of a full production cycle totaled $6 spin, which Russia paid for out of its own budget. That is where the disagreement started. Launching production of Su-57 fighters in India meant passing all the technology of the new jet fighters to Delhi. The Indians decided that, since they had invested $300 million in a project with a total cost of $6 spin, Russia would immediately pass on all its research. But since there was no such clause in the contract, Moscow refused to reveal all the information to the investors. At the same time, following the maiden flight of an experimental prototype in 2010, India said it was ready to purchase 214 FGFAs, or the Indian version of the Su-57, but only if they were produced exclusively on Indian territory. Russia is prepared to pass on all the technology and revealed the production secrets of the Su-57 jet fighter to India for no less than $5 spin. India believes that this would lead to it fully covering the cost of developing the Su-57. The Indians will be able to buy the first serially produced prototypes from Russia in a year or two when the Sukhoi company develops a full production cycle. At the same time, the arms manufacturers are not hiding the fact that the aircraft still needs a lot of work. Still, in early December 2017, they achieved a breakthrough and got the first Su-57 with a new engine into the air. Su-57 aircraft developed. The Sukhoi Su-57 is a Russian 5th-generation multirole fighter capable of annihilating any airborne, land-based, or naval target. According to its designers, the Su-57 fighter jet extensively uses composite materials and stealth technology. The aircraft can attain supersonic cruising speeds and is outfitted with cutting-edge onboard radio electronic systems. The Su-57 was conceived and built as part of the Russian Air Force's PAK-FA 5th-generation fighter aircraft program by the Sukhoi Design Bureau and the Russian Aircraft Corporation. It was also designed to defeat ground and naval defenses with supercruise, maneuverability, and sophisticated avionics. It has an integrated wing-body fuselage and blends the abilities of a fighter jet with a strike aircraft. Fallon features 2 internal weapon bays between the engines and 2 side weapon bays for short-range air-to-air missiles. The aircraft is outfitted with a 101 ks ATL infrared search and track sensor, which allows for long-range detection and engagement of stealth targets. The IMA-BK integrated avionics suite, which includes multi-core microprocessors and a revolutionary real-time operating system, can detect enemy targets quickly and advise the pilot on the best route. The pilot can perform the beaming maneuver, in which the aircraft turns perpendicular to an enemy's pulse Doppler radar array to avoid detection by side-looking radar. In addition, these features also increase the pilot's situational awareness. Combat operations in Syria. On February 22, 2018, the Russian Air Force, in a surprising move, deployed two Su-57 fifth-generation air superiority fighters to Hmeimim Air Base in Syria's Latakia province. The deployment came amid growing tensions between Russia and the Western Bloc in Syria, and frequent clashes between Syrian and Israeli forces simultaneously. It followed regular flyovers by the U.S. Air Force's own fifth-generation air superiority fighters, F-22 Raptors, and several strikes on Syrian forces in their own territory by Western fighter jets. 2 days after the first deployment of Su-57 fighters, Russia has doubled the size of its contingent to 4 fifth-generation heavy fighters, with Russia seeking to export its Su-57. Likely the first fifth-generation air superiority platform to ever be made available for export, depending on China's policy regarding exports of their J-20. Deploying 4 fighters to Syria could prove an excellent means to demonstrate their capabilities. Russia's monopoly over fifth-generation air superiority fighters, with U.S. unable to supply an equivalent platform due to export bans on the F-22 and canceled production of the Raptor, could see it supply both sides of a regional arms race and benefit from ludicrous sales. The Middle East, with military expenditures orders of magnitude greater than those of East Africa and in an ongoing arms race, could prove a ludicrous market for Russia's Su-57 and Cu on both sides of the Gulf, with no party being able to afford not to acquire the platform and each needing to maintain parity with the other. Russian air defense systems, armored vehicles, and even fighter jets have been ordered in large numbers by opposing sides in the Gulf already, with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Iran all relying on S-300 or S-400 platforms for air defense, and Bahrain currently considering a similar acquisition. A platform with capabilities as distinct, as strategically critical, and as far ahead of competitors as the Su-57 would have a greater potential to spark an arms race to acquire next-generation heavy fighters by all sides in much the same way as the Su-27 and its derivatives did in East Africa. Indeed, the cancellation of the F-22 program and the United States export ban has presented Russia's defense industry with an excellent opportunity, which deployment of the Su-57 to Syria brings it closer to realizing. American stealth aircraft killer. In November 2018, Chief Designer and Director of the Sukhoi Design Bureau Mikhail Strelets claimed that the Su-57 could fully perform air-to-air and air-to-ground tasks, unlike the F-22 and F-35, which were designed for a particular role. The F-22 was mainly found incapable of carrying larger air-to-ground munitions in its internal bays after the Americans realized the constraints imposed by a purely air superiority/air dominance fighter. Then in January 2021, renowned test pilot Makhom Talboyev claimed the Su-57 could easily beat the F-35 in a dogfight owing to its extreme supermaneuverability, which the F-35 is simply incapable. But Talboyev admitted that the F-35 possesses the electronic might. He said electronic warfare could be disrupted by factors like solar flares and how the era of dogfights is a pass. Talboyev might have been referring to the massive computing, sensor fusion, sensor data processing, and data linking capabilities of the F-35, besides the full aspect of pure stealth. American techno-military doctrine, in general, and Flynn in particular, consider this the biggest game changer that allows the individual pilot to make the most informed tactical decision, primarily while operating with other allied F-35s. It is the capability to mesh all the data and sensors to give the pilot a simplified, prioritized display of knowledge of the battle space. No data or information, but knowledge of what is out there in the battle space, Flynn said. It's complete stealth, combined with the powerful radar, sensors, and deadly EW capabilities, also would allow it to break the attrition cat-and-mouse game. The F-35 can detect the enemy first, shoot first, turn around, and speed away, Flynn explains. Flynn adds that the Ukraine war was precisely designed for the environment for which the F-35 was designed. The Su-57 has 6 radars spread all around its airframe, in place of the distributed aperture system, or DAS, sported by the F-35.